once when we were having a conversation, I believe it was on the tennis court, by the way.
Probably.
You were talking about after you had your experience of this of non-separation or unity. You were in a coffee shop, I believe, and you began to see everybody acting in a state of love or a way of lovingness, even just pouring their milk and whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm very fascinated with that. Could you talk about that a little bit more?
Sure. It was actually in a Chinese restaurant I go to, and it just happened. I was waiting in line. There was a lot of takeout. People wait in line to get takeout, and some people sitting in the restaurant. So I made my order, and then I was just waiting. I was standing in the back of the room, and I was just waiting, and I was using that moment, that time, to just drop into awareness. Somehow I had separated a little bit up until then. I can only be aware when I'm at home and I have a pre-prescribed sort of meditation time. I'm going to sit now and I'm going to be meditative or something. And then here I was in this busy, clattery little restaurant. I thought, let's see if I can be aware here too. And so I just let myself just drop into awareness more than I normally would have. I sort of met it. And slowly, I started perceiving love in everything, in everyone. And it was profound. Everybody, people standing in line, talking to each other, friends. It was like deep love. That's what friendship is. If you look into it, it's deep, it's love. And the woman who owns the restaurant, who was taking orders, what's that? She's serving people. It's a type of an expression of love. And the cook in the back, I could see him through a little open doorway, and he's working away in these big walks, and just everything I was looking at. People sitting at a table, handing the other person the soy sauce. Is love. And it was a profound experience.
Was it basically the same space that you talked about? That
identical. It just maybe just seemed slightly different angles. All same space. It's awareness, and then love is the same thing.
I feel it pretty much the same way. I feel that love is the space we're talking about.
Yeah.
Love is the unity, the isness, the totality, even the emptiness. But as long as you're not identified with something that you love, you just experience love. It comes from within you. It's all around you. Is it expressed in every way? And when you experience in that way, you experience this type of consciousness that we've been talking about.
Totally.
Simply that. You can also, I feel like, experience it if you are focused towards one person or one thing. But what the problem with that is that if you start to identify that love is that thing, is connected to that thing, when that is really not what's happening.
Yeah.
It's just this well-being within self that goes to no self or goes to all self.
Yes.
And as you go deeper into that space, I feel like you just enter into that loving world. And I found that absolutely fascinating. Once that you had this satori's, this enlightenment, this whatever we want to call it, you saw that. You clearly saw that. It wasn't just a mirage. It wasn't just through a haze. You just saw it. It was very much there.
Yeah.
And that's how I experienced that. And so then lovingness becomes a flavor, doesn't it?
Totally.
It just becomes a flavor.
And probably a doorway for many people.
Yeah.
I happen to go through the awareness doorway, but I believe love is a doorway also.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's also another tool in some ways to be used, because when you see inside yourself you're losing that sense of lovingness, then wait a minute,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I've now stepped more deeply into my ego, which is far out. You can
Yeah.
do that, but
Yeah.
at least you're aware of it.
Yes.
And that's where I feel immense gratefulness and grace, is to experience that lovingness. But it is impersonal. It's a kind of impersonal,
It is.
I find it.
It is.
It's not just your personal.
It's universal love.
Yeah, it's like really.
It's not about this person.
Yeah.
It'll include that person.
Yeah.
I can love you.
Absolutely.
But it's bigger than that.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah.
It's totally bigger than that. And everybody experiences love. I absolutely believe that everybody experiences some point love.
Totally.
So it's a way in,
Yeah.
just to just feel that feeling. You're loving somebody or something or someone, and for a moment, divorce yourself from the thing or the person and just feel the experience of that feeling.
Yeah, lovingness.
That lovingness. And then bingo, you now have stepped out of your separateness.
Yeah.
And no longer do you have to struggle with that. And so many people feel, in the world, as I look at it now, so many people feel hate and anger and jealousies and a variety of other, what we would consider difficult emotions.
Yeah.
And I think it's just that they are blocking that energy of love. That somehow those things are just not allowing that love space that they really crave. I think we all crave it.
Yes. You know, I'm going to mangle this quotation up a little bit, but I'll try anyway. It's from Nisargadatta, Sri Nisargadatta. He said something to the effect of, the awakened mind loves what it sees.
Perfect. Loves what it hears. Loves what it smells. Loves what it loves. It just loves.
Yeah.
It just loves.
Yeah.
Rumi was a beautiful one for this. You get that flavor. Yeah, it's very such a sense of gratefulness I feel with this experience. Our experiencing our
I'm glad you brought this up. It's a really good point. I don't think I would have on my own, but anyway, it's very, very important, hugely important.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is definitely a doorway to being.
Yeah, and what happened with me is I began to even love my enemies. Yeah. That didn't mean that I didn't have difference with my enemies. Right. I did. I had difference with my enemies. Yeah. It meant that I didn't have to destroy them or not accept them or these various things. Yeah. It meant that they could exist. I could exist. There still was a sense of love.
Was underneath it all.
That this was an experience. This was the isness that was happening.
Sounds a lot like the compassion that Buddhists talk about.
Is where it comes from, I'm sure.
Yes,
I mean, in the same space. It's the same space they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at some point, maybe we would talk about that as the difference between these things of what we call love and trust and forgiveness and so forth and so on, as being a flavor that one has from within themselves and that's just permeated. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to always act in a certain kind of way because you have love or trust or whatever.
No.
You know,
You can still have boundaries.
you still have boundaries.
And assert them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But those things still emanate from you, still
Yes.
are felt within you.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like they're opposites, but they're not.
Yeah.
You said it already, but the foundation of love or compassion can still be there and have boundaries.
Boundaries, exactly.
It's not a problem.
There was another thing that happened to me, and I used to say this to people. I haven't said it in a while, though, so I'll say it now. Is that when this experience went deep within me, I realized that these spaces that we talk about, trust and love, forgiveness, acceptance, they were the same energies.
Yes.
You just called them by different names.
Totally.
But they're really the same. There's nothing different.
No. It's almost like you have a circle and lines going to the center of that circle, and one line is called trust, the
Yeah.
other one's called love, the
Yeah.
other one's called
Right.
awareness,
Right.
and they all meet, and in the center, they're all of them.
Yeah. Same flavor,
Same flavor.
same space,
Same space.
same whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
I know. Is that
Yeah.
are we done?
Oh, perfect.